everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gabriella. Today's video is going to be a cozy, chatty portfolio tour. Portfolio tour because this is how I collect my finished arts. Even though you can see me work in several sketchbooks, I hardly ever finish any of them. I prefer to work on loose sheets of paper and put them in binders like this. And I have just filled this one up, so I felt it would be a fun video for the end of the year. Please keep in mind that I'm not reading from a script at the moment. I'm recording everything real time. I will try not to overly edit this video. I'm trying to make it as authentic as possible. Also, we have quite a lot of art to go through, and I would like to talk about each and every one of them. So I think this video is going to be split in at least 2 videos. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my current sketchbooks. It's not even all of them. Yeah, there's one more missing. Anyway, I have a lot of sketchbooks and I will also talk a little bit about them. Probably at the end of the second video, maybe third, I'm not sure at this time. I will have to figure out how to navigate here because everything is A4 sized. And some of them portraits, other landscape formats, so I will have to figure out how to fit everything into the frame. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the way this portfolio is organized, first of all, everything is from the past 3 years. I have a couple of drawings in here which are older, but most of them are starting from 2021. And there are 2 main sections in here. The first part is water media, which is everything watercolors, graphite, ink tents, and so on. And there's a second half, which is oil pastels, Stabilo woodies, watercolor crayons. And like I said, they are not necessarily in chronological order. It doesn't always make sense, seemingly, but it does make sense to me. So I will explain everything. So the first couple of drawings are from 2021. And these are actually some salvaged arts from an old Royal Talents art creation A4 size sketchbook that I didn't finish because I didn't like the quality of the paper. I really wanted to paint, especially I really wanted to practice graphitins at the time. And the paper was buckling really badly and I wasn't very happy with that. So I actually took these sheets out. Yeah, one of the things that I can tell you right off the bat is that sometimes you will see that I have the same painting done on different papers, maybe even different media. I like to do that. I like to experiment with different papers and I really don't mind repainting the same thing a couple of times over. I actually did this 3 times. This is referenced from a picture that was taken by my dad and I really liked it. These are baby swans. And I did like a test painting in the Royal Talents sketchbook that I really liked, but I wasn't very happy with the paper. So I recreated it on a slightly better mixed media paper. And I actually ended up making a third one, which is now framed and put on the wall in my dad's holiday home. Out of the 3, this is my favorite actually, even though it's on the lowest quality paper. I just wish that the paper hadn't buckled so bad. I believe that to the second one I even made a video, which is still available on my YouTube channel. And I think it was the second one. Many of these drawings and paintings are actually videos on my YouTube channel. Now this one is from Jurassic World. I think the second part of Jurassic World is like a volcano eruption and there's like a very dramatic scene and that I quite liked and I really wanted to recreate. And this was around the time that I first started using the graphite paint pens, I think. And this is ink tents. This is Tangerine from the ink tents with graphitins. And at the time I didn't have the charcoal set. I didn't have any whites, pastels or charcoals, anything. So the white parts are actually neo color. This next art is on a very cheap watercolor paper that I only used once. And this is also a kind of practice painting in which I was using the XL graphite blocks when I first got them, and I really wanted to try them out. And yeah, I really enjoy this. I might recreate this at some point in the future. Now here, this is a bit tricky because one is landscape format, the other one is portraits. These were done in like at least a year and a half apart, but I put them together because it makes sense. The first one is an Inktense and Graphitin's comparison video, which actually did really well on my channel, and it's done on mixed media, Canson mixed media paper. This is Graphitin versus the Derwent's charcoal paint pen set that I ended up not liking so much. This is also a comparison video on my channel that was quite popular. And here's another example of me painting either exactly the same thing or like variations to the same topic. Yeah, this is a video on my channel from about 2 years ago. I remember this was the first video that I recorded with my new iPad, and I was very happy about the quality. This is Fabriano Studio watercolor paper, and I was just practicing using graphitins with the Boku Undo Gansai paints. And this one, I think this is only graphitins, and I kind of regret that I didn't record a video to this one, because out of the two, I actually prefer this one. So I wish I had made a video out of this one, but yeah. This next one is Graphitins and Derwent drawing pencils. I used a very textured Canson mixed media paper, and I was kind of having a hard time reaching this really dark value that I really wanted. I only had Graphitin blocks at the time. I didn't have the charcoals yet, and I tried to help out the situation with the Derwent drawing pencils. It wasn't the best combination in my opinion, but anyway, it is what it is. And this next painting is another video on my channel. This is an Icelandic landscape done in Inktense and Graphitin pencils, and from about 2 years ago. I don't remember when I uploaded. It was sometime in the winter, either last year or the year before. I don't remember. And yeah, it was great. And I remember this was the first time that I used the white charcoal block to create kind of a foggy effect in the background. And I love how this little pond looks. These are the Inktense pencils, dusky purple, and some other Graphitin pencil. Anyway, I really enjoyed making this one. Here, this is a watercolor pencil drawing. I think these are the Staedtler watercolor pencils on Fabriano Studio paper. This was a practice painting. I believe I was practicing for a video. This one. So I did like 2 different versions of the same. I prefer this one on the same. No, actually this is Fabriano 1264 and this is Fabriano Studio. And yeah, I kind of wish that I made a video out of this one because this is quite nice. Here I have I'm going to just take it out for a second. I made this drawing for a Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer Magnus review that I have since deleted from my channel. And even though it's a cute composition, I was kind of having a hard time with the Albrecht Dürer pencils. They're not really my cup of tea. And this is actually a recent painting on my channel using the Choosing Keeping Gansai paints, the winter palettes. Moving on. Oh, this is actually quite old. This is also a watercolor pencil practice video on my channel. I used the Staedtler Design Journey watercolor pencils for this one on Canson mixed media paper. And it was a very good combination. I really enjoy using the Staedtler pencils on Canson mixed media paper. So if you're looking for an affordable paper to practice watercolor pencils, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it was a great practice. I really enjoyed it. And here on the right, you can see this baby cheetah that is not super realistic looking. I did this for the Hahnemühle Britannia review earlier this year. And this is Daniel Smith undersea green and Derwent drawing pencils and some, I believe, Holbein watercolors. I don't remember what I used in here. And this is another video on my channel, Inktense pencils on the Clairefontaine Gold Line Aquapet watercolor paper, which has kind of an interesting texture when you look at it. It's definitely not for everyone, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy this effect. This baby cow is another salvaged art from a Leuchtturm sketchbook that I had for a while. I didn't really enjoy the quality of the paper for painting because I really wanted to paint, and I believe that sketchbook was meant to be used with markers, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you will see that I have a couple of drawings taken out from that sketchbook as well. This is also a video on my channel. This was my first Inktense block video. This is Fabriano Studio cold pressed paper, and yeah, I had a great time. That was my first time using the full set of Inktense blocks when I first got them, and I just wanted to try them out and do some mini landscapes to see how they perform on this paper. And yeah, I had a blast. This is another drawing salvaged from my Leuchtturm sketchbook, and this is done in the Derwent XL graphitint and charcoal blocks, and this is also a video on my channel. I believe this paper is way too smooth for charcoals and graphitints, but it was still fun. And the one on the right, another video on my channel, I think it's called something like Pagan Landscapes. These are watercolors and graphite pencils on Fabriano Studio paper, and this was also great fun. Another drawing salvaged from the Leuchtturm sketchbook. This used to be a video on my channel, but I took it down because, to be honest, I'm not very happy with it. It was an interesting practice. This paper is way too smooth for watercolor pencils, in my opinion. And this is the single most watched video on my channel. It currently has 21,000 views. This is my great watercolor pencil comparison video. These are the Museum Aquarels, Inktense, Staedtler Card pencils, and the Albert Dürer Magnus pencils. And yeah, I never expected this video to do so well, so thank you guys for watching it. Here, oh, I love this. Another salvaged art from my Leuchtturm sketchbook. This was actually a practice drawing that I did in preparation for a video that I did. This is the video on Fabriano Studio paper from about 2 years ago, I think. And this is the practice. And another example where I actually do prefer the practice painting to the actual finished piece. In terms of values, this isn't my best work, to be honest. I believe these pebbles are way too light. I did not manage to kind of capture any dimension in here. It's very flat, and yeah, I'm not very happy with how this turned out. And while I didn't manage to fully dissolve the watercolor pencils on the sketchbook paper, you can see the pencil strokes are very visible. I do prefer this one over the finished piece, and it's also very difficult to find royalty-free images of axolotls, so any recommendations, please let me know, because I love axolotls and I would love to create something similar in the future. This cheetah study was taken out of Fabriano 1264 watercolor pad, and I was practicing with, these are the Artgraph VRCO tailor shapes. And unfortunately, I'm not very happy with the kind of greens that you can mix using the primaries from the Artgraph set, especially on cheap watercolor paper. So while I like this one, this is actually, I think it's the same reference picture that I used for the previous cheetah art. I believe, yes, it's the same. In my opinion, this version of the same reference picture looks much more realistic, even though I struggle to paint with the Artgraph blocks. Yeah, this version is not very realistic, but I love the background because this is Daniel Smith Undersea Green. I love the background. I just wanted to quickly show you the difference between a really high-end watercolor versus the Artgraph VRCOs on student grade cellulose watercolor paper. So this was the only time that I ever painted with Artgraph tailor shapes on cellulose paper, and to be perfectly honest with you, it's not my favorite medium. That's why you don't see me use it very often on my channel. So going back to the right side of this spread, these are Staedtler watercolor pencils on Fabriano Studio watercolor paper, and this was going to be a video for Chinese New Year, for the Year of the Tiger, but I wasn't super happy with how this turned out, so I never posted it. But it's still in my portfolio. I don't hate it, but I feel like I could have done a better job. Here I did some quick sketches on the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, and I've been planning to make a video on the old New York cityscape. This is a very, very cheap 90 GSM sketch paper that I was never going to put into my portfolio. I was merely experimenting with different medium to see what works best. These are watercolors and neocolors. These are the Derwent charcoal blocks, and these are the Cretacolor pastel pencils that I was actually trying out for the first time here on Fabriano sketch paper. And I didn't end up making the finished piece, but I really like the sketches, so I decided to include them in my portfolio. And let me know if you would like me to do something like this. I don't want to be insensitive, but I love the original World Trade Center and the Twin Towers, and I'm fascinated by the architecture. And I know I have a lot of viewers from the US. Please let me know in the comments if you think it would be okay or maybe a bit insensitive for me to create such an artwork. On the right side, you can see this is another video. Also something that I had been thinking about for a long time, to recreate ancient Minoan arts. And this might turn into a series because I love this kind of ancient arts. This is my very first attempt at trying to recreate ancient Minoan art. And in my opinion, it turned out a bit too cartoonish. Like, I didn't mean for it to be so cartoonish. Part of the reason why it is that way is because I used water-soluble markers for the details. So I wasn't actually painting, but I was drawing with water-soluble markers. And I don't know, maybe I'm just not confident enough with markers, but I'm not super satisfied with this effect. Again, like I said, I enjoy recreating the same concept over and over again to kind of perfect my art. This is something that I might come back to in the future. And here we are at two videos that are very popular on my channel. This is the great block comparison video, Inktense versus Artgraph VRCO tailor shapes, and the Derwent XL charcoal blocks. This is single-handedly the most popular video on my channel from 2023. This is the Inktense comparison video, Inktense pencils, Inktense paint pen sets, and the Inktense blocks. And I remember I did this very quickly because like the night before the refurb had to begin in my flat, and I had to move out for about a month. And I had like one afternoon to record something. I said, okay, I really need to wrap it up quickly. So I actually, maybe, I don't know if it shows on the video, but I did this super quickly. I did the editing while I was staying at my father's house for about a month. And it turned out quite well, and it was very well received. So thank you to all of you guys who commented and watched and encouraged me to create more Inktense content. This is another video on my channel using Derwent XL blocks, and I used the Hahnemuhle Britannia paper, which is a very decent student grade watercolor paper. However, not my first choice for charcoals or graphite or even Inktense. So I gave myself a bit of a hard time, but I still finished it, and I quite like how it looks. It looks a lot more expressive than the original reference picture. I changed especially this like nest, or I guess it's a nest or reed, I'm not sure what this is. It turned out to be a lot more dramatic than the original reference picture, and I love how you can be very free and impressionistic using the XL blocks. So this was like one of my first real experiments using the blocks, but I didn't choose the right paper. And the one on the right was how to use woodless watercolor pencils, a video that I uploaded, I think in early September. And yeah, it was also quite popular, and I believe that is the only video on my channel in which I use the woodless watercolor pencils. But it's a very interesting concept, and I will definitely revisit it in the future. This is also a recent video of mine. These are the polar bear cubs that I painted on Hahnemuhle Cornwall paper using the Derwent XL charcoal blocks and the Choosing Keeping Gansai paints. And that was very experimental from me. I wasn't convinced if this was going to work, but I loved the effect that I was able to create. And I believe the background was a lot more challenging than the bear cubs themselves, and I think this looks stunning. I'm actually planning on revisiting this technique for some future videos around spring maybe, because in case you don't know, I live next to, like 5 minutes away from an ancient Roman museum, outdoor museum / excavation site, and my neighborhood is full of ancient Roman ruins, so that's one of my main, something that I keep returning to. And this technique would be ideal to paint like ruins and kind of moody landscapes. Unfortunately, this was not very popular on my channel. I love cave paintings, and I currently have 2 videos on my channel. And this is an idea that I would love to explore further. This is Fabiano Studio paper, and I used the charcoal and graphite blocks along with some watercolors to kind of enhance the saturation a little bit. I was surprised how easy it was to make this one. And yeah, this is absolutely my comfort zone. I love creating ancient art like cave paintings. I'm absolutely fascinated by this concept. I want to show you the first cave painting that is available on my channel. I actually have it framed and it's hanging on my wall, and I will just quickly show it to you. So the first cave painting is hanging on my wall, framed. It's my recreation of a very famous cave art, and I apologize for the poor lighting. It's probably not the best shot, but it still gives an idea. Oh, here's another example of me revisiting the same idea. This was a painting that I did back in 2021 in my old art creation sketchbook that I cut up. And in this one, I used the Roman Schmal Aquarius green and some Holbein paints. I don't remember using Holbein, but I guess I did. But it was clearly not the right paper. And also, I think to create the fog, I used... What did I use? Maybe Gonzai white. Definitely like white watercolor, something like that, because I didn't have the XL charcoal blocks. So a couple of months ago, I did a newer version of the same painting on Clairefontaine Gold Line watercolor paper, and this one turned out much better. And this is Shinhan watercolors and maybe Daniel Smith, I don't remember. Definitely graphitins, and these are graphitin mixed with Shinhan paints. And yeah, this is available on my channel. I had a great time painting this one. And this is my absolute favorite parts. Oh, my favorite Derwent XL Inktense blocks that I started using on Hahnemühle Mold Made rough paper. And these are some of my most recent videos on my channel. I absolutely love these. This is a reference picture that I've had on my iPad for at least a year, and I was waiting for the right moment to finally paint it. And then I got the XL blocks, and I actually used this reference image for the video in which I was using the XL Inktense blocks for the first time, and I love how this turned out. I'm not entirely happy with how I painted the trees. It's not very realistic. Not that I'm going for realism necessarily, but I feel like I could have done a better job. But this tree, and especially the background, like this part of the painting, the right part of the painting, I'm super, super proud of. And this was kind of the second installment in that series. These are some sparrows in the snow, and even though the snow in the front is not very realistic looking, I love how the sparrows turn out, especially these two. And I really enjoy the background that I was able to create using the blocks, and also kind of the snow effect that I kind of splattered on the paper. And yeah, this is currently my obsession, Hahnemühle Mold Made paper and Inktense blocks. So be prepared for more, because I'm having a blast using these. And this one, same. This was the third video using the Inktense blocks on Hahnemühle Mold Made paper. I believe this is from like 3 weeks ago, and yeah. And that kind of marks the end of the first video. This is the first painting from the second part of the portfolio, which is Stabilo Woodies, Neocolors, oil pastels, and so on. So that's going to be an entirely different subject. So I will leave it for next week. We will explore it next week, and also maybe some of my sketchbooks. So that's it for this week. Like I said, I'm doing a no-buy next year, so there's not going to be product reviews. I might do some comparison videos, but not necessarily reviews. I have nothing to review at the moment, and I'm not going to have any because I'm not purchasing anything new. So let me know what you would like to see more of on the channel, and then I will try to delve deeper in that subject and hopefully upload some tutorials and some videos that you guys find inspiring. So thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. Thank you for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye!